Journeys is recorded at Doghouse Studios. Like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube to keep the conversation going. Remember, if you like the content, share the content. Welcome back to Journeys. Today is September 2nd. It is a Thursday, and it is also my birthday, so I'm very excited about this episode because not only is it my birthday, I'm also having my very, very favorite person on, my wife, Mrs. Jones. Take it away.
Hi.
You don't even know what to say, eh?
No.
So this is the first time where a guest has not wanted to talk about their journey, so I'm going to help her and just kind of guide her along because I know what she wants to talk about. I know there's a lot of things that she's had on her mind.
You can't make me narrow anything down for what's going on lately.
So what is the what is literally the biggest thing in your life?
Literally the biggest is Samson.
That's not 100% false.
No, the elephant in the room, definitely being pregnant.
Oh yeah. So I'm super excited. Are you excited?
Yes. Please don't mistake my hesitancy. There's just certain things that, you know, obviously I'm nervous for. Labor in general is terrifying.
Luckily, I don't have to deal with it, and also I don't have to even be awake because last time I was asleep.
That's not true. You were asleep for certain things. That was very frustrating.
You were very mad at me for those things, but not to a point where at the end you weren't like, okay, we've moved on.
No, I'm you know, despite everything, and there were certain moments I was mad at you for. I'm very aware I could not have gone through all that by myself, and I know, you know, Saturday was pretty scary, and I was in a lot of pain. I've been in a lot of pain. I've been having contractions on and off since Saturday. Saturday was very consistent, and I know I said when we were going, I think it was when we were going to the hospital, I said, you know, I don't care if I have to go through labor by myself. I want to make sure that Liam is taken care of. And it sounds shitty because after going to the hospital by myself on the Saturday because we had no one to watch Liam, I was fucking terrified. Like, there's not, you know. So, yeah. I
mean, I think we had people to watch Liam, but had made the decision that you weren't, at least I had made the decision, you weren't having Logan at that point. And I just said, I can take care of him. Like, I know he's not going to come out. I know you're okay for like, how long were you in there? Like half an hour, 45 minutes maybe? More than that.
Maybe like an hour and a half, something like that.
I don't think I really asked you, how did you feel without me?
I was obviously scared. Like, it's not an easy thing to go through by yourself. I don't know how some people do it. Some people have to do it. I didn't feel like we had anyone to watch Liam. But I think I knew he wasn't coming then, and regardless of him coming or not, I was still going through all of the things. My body's still going through all of these things of he's coming soon. And there's nothing we can do to stop that. So to be in there by myself was really scary. And I don't know what else to say. It's scary because
it's just a scary moment.
It's labor. There's so many things that can go wrong. It's incredibly painful. You know, in the end, you get this beautiful baby, but
the process is not fun.
It's not fun at all.
I don't think I've ever heard a woman say, I want to get pregnant again just to go through labor.
And the funny thing is, I mean, I got drugs, and I fully plan on getting more drugs this time too.
And that's like, this is the time I get to be messed up.
Oh, you remember before I even got my epidural last time, just the laughing gas.
Oh my god. They were like, this isn't for fun. So for like what, maybe like 15 minutes, they're like, this is just to like just so for a this is like a band-aid. Just put on the band-aid. And then that's like, the box? I'm gonna put on the whole box of band-aids. And she was just laughing the whole time. And at one point,
apparently it affects people differently. It affected me more like, it seemed more like I was like stoned out of my mind.
Yeah, like I was at the point where I was kind of like, can I have some? Like, you seem like you're having a great time. So, another thing that I know you had notated down is COVID. And one thing that we haven't really like, everyone said on Journeys, they've talked about COVID, how COVID has affected them, but we've never really talked about COVID. And obviously you and I have lived through it together. Is there something that comes to mind right away when you think of COVID?
For me, writing down COVID was very much, having a baby during COVID. I'm very happy this is not our first kid that we're having during COVID. I couldn't imagine doing that for the first time. Because there's already so many things you don't know. There's already so many things that you don't know what to expect, and, obviously things can go wrong, like, so just the thought of having a baby during COVID, like, one of my first things when I found out we were pregnant, we were expecting, was I reached out to someone that I knew that did have a baby during COVID and asked questions like, hey, like, what happens at the hospital? Do you have to go through labor by yourself? Do you have to wear a mask the whole time? Like, there's just certain things. And obviously we learned the hard way on Saturday when we kind of were trying to bring Liam in with us.
No baby.
No, you cannot have a baby. You cannot have anyone there with you.
They made me feel really like, are you...
I honestly, and you didn't tell me what they said until after. I would have been pissed.
Well, yeah.
I would have yelled at the nurse, like, you know what? Like, what do you, like, people have children. Like, what do you want us to do?
Okay, so
we're having another baby.
I know you've been really big with COVID, and I think you would have been that same person if somebody else had brought an unmasked child to a hospital during a point where COVID is still on the rise again. You would have been like, how could you have done that? If you hadn't had a child.
I would 100% see your point. But at the same time, there's just situations you're put in.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, like you
said. Like, it was a situation we were put in where, like, hey, your parents were at the cottage. Like, the closest people to come were still pretty far away. So, as much as, we could have gotten someone to come, he'd still be with us for a period of time.
So one thing I did want to... I know we haven't really talked about it. We skirted around it. We called Erica. And I feel like you were very upset that she was hesitant.
Yeah, I was.
And
we are at the point that we're like, hey, we're going to the hospital. I'm sitting there, like, you remember that drive, and even to the point when you made that phone call, you were scared because of how I was, like, sitting and positioning myself. Like, I was having bad contractions. And the fact that we called someone to ask for help, and there was that much hesitancy, and because of lack of internet, I was really upset. First of all, that makes me think every time I leave my child with said person. And this isn't to say anything bad about Erica, but it's, is my kid literally just sitting there watching TV the entire time? Because... I'll go a day without watching TV with him. I'll, go multiple days, and we're asking for an hour, and the hesitancy. What if I was in labor? What if I was like, hey, baby's coming now, and I had to do it on my own because there was so much hesitancy to watch him. And I know you say, like, hey, I just would have just made her do it, whatever, but it scares me because, I mean... Sorry, you remember when I was pregnant with Liam, I was so scared about leaving Samson. I wanted to make sure Samson was okay. The difference between Samson and Liam is Samson can be home for a while. Yeah, he needs someone to come and feed him and let him out and, give him a big bear hug, but Liam can't be left alone. He's a baby, he's a child, like, it's just so much worse. It's so much more... scary and there's so much more unknowns.
I think with that, we're going to take a little break. All right. All right. So I kind of attacked Erica in the last one. I acknowledge that. I love you, Erica. I know you're listening, and I don't mean to spread our ish to everybody. And we both love you. It was just a very bad time because, and again, I want to talk to you about it. I think why you were so hurt about it was mostly because Erica is the most trustworthy person we know, like 99% of the time.
Like anyone we know?
Like, well, who else do we know that's
I'm
like...
sorry, we were obviously, like, as we were discussing on the break, like, yeah, Erica's definitely, for me, the go-to person in your family.
Yeah, I'm not even sure who the go-to person in your family is. Maybe your mom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelsey?
It depends on the situation.
See, like, that's the thing with Erica, is every situation I'm like...
even certain things I would go to Rhett, or even Reagan, like... I think the only person I wouldn't include in that is my dad, but...
Your dad's fun for things.
Huh?
Your dad is a fun person to be around.
Okay.
I think, like... Well, now we're just talking family at this point. Like, if I want to talk sports, especially, your dad is, like, the go-to for sports. Like, even artistic things, I cannot talk to your mom. If I play your dad a song, your dad will be like,
My mom is the most, like, non-artistic person ever. Like, I remember growing up, she's like, I can't even teach you how to do, like, a stick figure. Like, I can't.
I'm just going to be silly about this now. I hope you know that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I think your mom is... Yeah, we heard that one.
I'm pregnant. Please ignore my gas.
You are
it's uncontrollable.
39 weeks pregnant, which for people who don't know is like almost 10 months, because I always thought movies were... Why would movies lie to me and say that things
Everything about pregnancy in movies is wrong. And this is what I was talking about with being pregnant and COVID. Is, like, the movies basically teach you, like, okay, your water breaks, and then you start having contractions, and then you go to the hospital and have a baby. That's just not how it works.
It is not how that works.
Like, how long was I in labor with Liam before I actually realized I was actually in labor? And as much as I say, you know, the movies are wrong, it's funny, because, like, the percentage of women whose water breaks early on is... It's a very low percentage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Please edit that out.
I cannot.
Okay.
I'm lazy. I have to go and edit it all out. Like,
anyway,
every time you do it.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Every time. Sorry, what was I saying?
I have no idea.
The percentage of women whose water breaks and then, like, labor, and that's how labor starts, it's very low percentage. And that's just another scary part of... Why are you looking at me like that?
I feel like you're very giggly.
I just have a gas bubble and I just feel like I'm going to keep burping.
Can you just do it at once to get it all out?
I can't. That's not how it works. It just sits there. It's like, I can't force it.
Another thing I'm learning about pregnancy every day.
All of your muscles down your belly have completely separated. You understand that, right?
Nope.
So all of your ab muscles down here, they completely separate because your uterus expands. So for me to, like, try and, like, muscle up and force out, like, a burp, it's like I don't have the muscle reflex in my belly to do it.
I'm learning so much right now. This is awesome.
And it's weird because you're staring at my belly as I'm talking about this. I know I'm, like, pointing to what it... Anyway. So I got lucky with Liam where my water did break, kind of. And then I went into labor and things started.
Yeah, like you were.
But this time, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's what's gonna happen. You know, my water didn't actually break until I was my gosh, I think it was like the morning he was born. It was like, I think it was like 6:30 in the morning. And the reason I specifically remember this was some nurses had come into my room. You were still asleep. And a baby had just been born. And I was like, okay, it's my turn next. And then,
friends, like, okay, why have three people have come in and gone without a baby, and I still have baby?
And I remember sitting there, and I'm like, okay, is anything happening yet? And they went to check me, and mind you, we got there around midnight, and it was now 6:30 in the morning, and I had been laboring the whole day before that, and had my water trickled, and I had been induced the Sunday morning.
He was born on a Monday, so yeah, it would have been Sunday morning.
Yeah. So then at 6:30, when they were like, oh, another baby was just born, I'm like, yes, it's my turn next. Let's do this. And then they went to check me, and they're like, only 4 centimeters. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then my water had broken when they went to check me.
Like, I know this is kind of a weird question, but what is induction exactly?
So there's different ways to induce, but it's to start labor going on. So what they did for me was they had put some gel on my cervix, and I think it's supposed to like ripen the cervix to get you to start dilating, because I apparently don't dilate. And I guess brings on contractions. That's not
true. You're dilated right now as we
almost
sit in this
a centimeter. Almost a centimeter.
That's like what, a pinky? Less than a pinky?
She did bring her pinky out full of blood. Okay, yeah. You can edit that out.
Can't edit. None of this is being edited.
Anyway.
This is probably like one of the weirdest journeys we've been on so far. It's awesome. I love it. I love it.
And it's weird because I feel like before I was pregnant with Liam, like I was so closed off. Like I would never talk about things like this. And after you're pregnant and after you have a kid, I don't know if you have any shits left to give, because I don't know. I would just tell any of this to anyone, because you know we all came from somewhere, and all of this is reality. Like
the one time you have to wait at a bus stop, you're just gonna talk to the first person you see and just be like, I had 2 kids and they had to ripen my cervix.
I'm not crazy. Oh my gosh. But I just remember like the first time being pregnant, and everyone always wants to tell you their story of when they, you know, went through this or that, and every pregnancy is different and every labor is different. And again, going back and talking about, there's so many unknowns, and the fear of doing this during COVID. But hearing all these people tell me these stories, like, I didn't ask. I don't want to know. My mother-in-law, my mother, my boss, like, co-workers, freaking, oh my god, that Asian man that came to me at No Frills and looked like he was about to grab my belly. And he was asking me about like pacifiers. I'm like, I don't have a kid. Like, I don't really know what you want from me. And he's like, but you have a baby. I'm like, my baby's still inside of me. I don't still figuring stuff out, you know? But, yeah, if you are ever pregnant, be very aware. People will tell you their birth stories, and, you know, they're all so different, and you just don't want to hear it.
Everybody's unique snowflake.
It just doesn't help, because you have so many things running through your mind when you're actually there and doing it, and I don't know, it kind of maybe not psychs you out, but it's just kind of another worry and another fear on your mind.
So we're kind of winding down now. I want to have you back on after Logan comes, because we're going to both be super sleep deprived. But is there any...
See, I thought this was interesting, me coming on now and seeing the emotional me before, and depending on when we record next, I will be significantly more emotional. Definitely remember that last time with Liam.
Differently emotional.
It was a very a very hard transition, and obviously you've talked about a lot of things on journeys, so everyone knows we've kind of been through a lot in the last little while. And just going to the road of postpartum is quite scary, and there's just, you don't know what to expect.
Thank you so much for coming on. Again, Mrs. Jones, Annette Orr, thank you so much. It's been Journeys today, September 2nd. It's Thursday, and I'm Chad Jones. I will talk to you on another time.